Presence is the new movie by Steven Soderbergh. This is his 34th movie, and yeah, he's the type of filmmaker we never quite know what we're gonna get from him. I put him in the same category as filmmakers like Ridley Scott or Gus Van Sant. They all have their filmmaking passions, but understand the medium so well that they can come out with these mid-budget movies that feel a little more intelligent and do quite successful. And at 34 movies, Soderbergh shows no sign of stopping. I mean, we are getting another movie coming in just a couple weeks, also written by David Koepp, and it is a $60 million action movie. Whereas Presence is a micro-budget Sundance premiere horror movie. It follows a family of four that move into this spacious new house that has an entity inhabiting. But as the movie goes on, it reveals that this entity is less exclusive with this big house, rather the teenage daughter, Chloe. She's seemingly a problem child of sorts, and she's getting over this traumatic instance that really kind of killed a part of her and left her hanging. Her mother and older brother are pragmatic, and they look at Chloe like she's crazy, whereas her father sees this as Chloe luring in something pretty extraordinary. Both father, daughter, and mother and son, they have these alliances which make this movie all the more bolder. This being a dysfunctional family that may or may not get out of this gray area makes this all the more interesting than other possession movies. Even with its lofty ideas, there are some cliches here. You're gonna be able to kind of see where one thing is gonna lead on to another, but I gotta say, this was a thought-provoking and small-scale movie, but its lightness is a strength to it. I found it to be digestible and also played to the Steven Soderbergh formula very well. It is very much one of his movies through and through. It has that sleek, almost minimal style to it. The style here is almost like a gimmick to this movie. It is in the POV of the entity. Soderbergh's credited for both cinematography and editing here, so he uses this to just swoop the camera around the house and in the characters' faces. It works for what they're going for. Of course, horror movies are subjective. I think some people are not going to be all that impressed by this. I mean, some of the scares I would compare to like movies like Paranormal Activity, little thumps in the night. There's nothing all too explicit here, but the performances I think help heighten this movie as well. Specifically, Chloe, played by Callina, who I've never seen on a movie, but she is the star here. And we also have great takes from Lucy Liu, Chris Sullivan, also Julia Fox, who is just not in this movie enough. Quick sidetrack, I thought that Down the Drain was one of the best biopics that I've read in years. So seeing her on screen anytime is a gift. I see this movie's marketed as a first-person point of view. I don't know if I would call it that. The most literal term would be third-person omniscient. I would compare this more to like The Sims than I would Half-Life. I thought there was a lot of creative things at play here. I'm not too sure how it's going to hold in my memory through the rest of this year, but I will say the ending of this movie is so scary. One of the creepiest endings I've seen on a movie in a while. And for that, I will keep it in mind. We're gonna check back with Soderbergh again in a couple weeks for Black Bag. Until then, pretty good release right here. I would give Presence a 7.4. It is released by Neon and playing in theaters everywhere. Thank you for watching.